It wasn't just Drake that Jay-Z co-signed. Then he cautioned him, a quiet one. The type you only hear if you listen carefully. When Drake first emerged on the scene, he wasn't just another rapper trying to get notoriety. Some of the brightest minds in the industry were shaping, nurturing, and mentoring him. The largest of them all was Have. Jay-Z wasn't just utilizing verses to make a statement. He was building something and protecting it. Furthermore, if you listen to the lyrics again and pay close attention, they sound more like a plan than a feature. It was more like a private conversation disguised as a public record. You see, the first time Jay and Drake worked together musically was on Light Up, which was featured on Drake's debut album. At the moment, it sounded like a flex. Drake receives approval from the monarch himself. Buried in those verses, Jay stated, "Drake, here's how they're going to come at you, and watch for traitors disguised as favors." What that was not rap talk. It was a big brother's strength. It was a conversation about survival. Furthermore, those phrases increasingly sound like warnings about Diddy in particular as Drake's fame develops. It wasn't shocking that Diddy, Drake, and Drake were at odds. In 2014, a storm was already brewing behind the scenes. A beat was the spark. The trigger was the 0 to 100 of Frank Dukes and Boy Wanda. After Drake recorded it and released it, it became a summer hit. But Diddy believed that beat was meant toe for him. He felt dehumanized and disregarded. And when skyscraper-sized egos collide, it doesn't take much for things to explode out. That December, it did. DJ Khaled's birthday celebration in Miami. There was to be a celebration, but Diddy had other plans. Others who witnessed or heard what happened said that Diddy confronted Drake and demanded explanations. Drake apparently refused to back down, so Diddy slapped him. He is said to have punched him. It wasn't just a battle, anyway. It acted as a visible reminder of power, control, and hierarchy. But that wasn't drama in high school. In the music industry, it was politics. Diddy wasn't just upset approximately one beat. He was angry at the implications of that beat. As an artist, Drake had matured beyond his childhood. He was surpassing and outshining everyone. And some of those people weren't happy about that. The whispers increased in volume. Diddy was charged with putting Drake's head at risk. Not in the sense of a physical mob hit, but rather in the sly, whispered LA sense that makes people act differently. Pay attention to their backs. Put plans on hold. It was something Drake knew too. And he took the right action. At that moment, the game begins. The Compton heavyweight with street certification. Drake was no idiot. In some regions, Diddy needed the support of his own people. Drake made the right decision. He established alliances. He released the song 100 with Game. Compton is where the video was filmed. Just as crucial as shooting a great photo is planting a flag to spread a message. I have people now, not alone. But even at that moment, the fear had remained. Throughout the video shoot, Drake fell when he saw unfamiliar faces, unexpected men, and unknown energy. Left the set thinking it was a setup. According to Whack 100, Drake needed a chaser to tell him that the men were there to protect him, not to hurt him. He ran though, and that says it all. He was not paranoid. They informed him. He knew a little. Jay-Z might have told him something long before anyone else did. Jay-Z had been playing the game long enough to know all the pitfalls. He knew what the company was. Not just the labels and agreements, but the whispers, the favors, the setups. In addition, he used analogies for survival rather than fashion. The Barzini line from Light Up is still audible to those listening. Wasn't just a Godfather reference. Was a mysterious allusion to snakes in suits. Some people might invite you to meetings just to make you feel uncomfortable. Jay was trying to put Drake's armor on even before the battle started. The multifaceted nature of the sector is the issue. It's not just music. Deeper. Plays are being performed, Power battles, strategic alliances, secret confrontations, and quiet blackballs. Did he too? He was not just a flamboyant businessman. He knew how to play the game of quiet. Despite the champagne and the grins, Diddy moved like a chess player who didn't like losing pawns. And intentionally offending someone in that way has consequences, whether intentional or not. Drake wasn't only involved with the beat. Although that rumor did spread, it wasn't limited to Cassie. According to rumors, Drake made an effort to lure Cassie to OVO in 2013. Whether it was for business or something else totally, that really got to people. Diddy, who's always been territorial, says perception is crucial. Even a hello might turn into a grudge if it is delivered poorly. The slap in Miami was simply the public symptom. The following action was darker. In LA's back channels, there were allegations that Diddy was observing Drake. They report back while sitting on corners. And they're not just the club kind. Street surveillance and passive threats. People started observing Drake's moves. It's cautious and strategic. That was when it made sense for the game to exist. It was more than just a feature of the game. In stores, Drake was unable to buy what he was offering: safety. The game didn't remain silent about it either. It was his own words. He chose loyalty over violence after being called up, told to wet Drake, and attempted to get him involved in any illicit activities. He slapped Drake hard, told him what was going on, offered to hide, and told him he had men waiting. Game knew that protection like that isn't handed away for free. Despite his strength, it wasn't charity, it was cash. Drake's best form of remuneration was art. 100 was not just a record. Kate, it was a calculated move to formally seal their partnership and ensure their safety. The statement read, "We're cool. We are in agreement." It also made people think twice before doing anything slick. However, the unease remained even after the apparent recovery. When Diddy eventually made an appearance on The Breakfast Club to deny everything and assert that Drake was his friend, things didn't go well. It felt like a script for a PR cleanup saying, "I didn't touch Drake. I want nothing to go wrong." But in reality, no one bought that. Nor the fans, nor the insiders. Because behind closed doors, stories of friction, ego, and unsaid grudges that would not go away persisted. Furthermore, the more you listened to Drake's songs from that era, the more it resembled therapy sessions put to music. In Calabasas, he makes fun of self-promoters, boasts about being pushed by OGs, and even mimics Diddy's signature at 4 p.m. Take that. Take it. It is a statement rather than a critique. Subtle, but loud enough for anyone who knew where to look. He wasn't hiding, he was documenting, bar for bar, with courage and silence. A couple of admers assert that Jay-Z was doing more than just warning Drake. He was protecting himself too. The sentences, which before sounded like industry counsel, now read more like insurance. This is how Jay could always phrase it. "I tried to tell him," because he was leading Drake and doing his own job at the same time. Near enough to see Diddy's behavior, yet far enough away to escape the fallout. But recently, Jay's name has been showing up in places it used to avoid. Due to court dockets, accusations, and conspiracy strands, he and Diddy are sentenced together. Diddy and Jay, according to some, were more than simply business partners. They were playing the same game, but on different levels. Jaguar, right? Could never contain her outburst. At one point, he said simply, "They're the same sandwich, peanut butter with jelly. It's the same plate, different flavors." That line stuck in people's minds not just because it was absurd, but also because they felt it to be true. Not to mention the litigation, party rumors, non-disclosure agreements, and whispers in hotel corridors and black SUVs. When he gets into problems, Hub's name usually comes in second to Diddy's, but Jay is usually Teflon. He wasn't accused explicitly, but he was mentioned enough to make people wonder how much and for how long he knew. Did Jay protect Drake because he was worried? Or did he see a reflection of himself in him? It's too important to lose a pupil. Like he always does, Drake handled it with timing, music, and silence. He never once brought up the issue with Diddy directly. No interviews, no irate tweets, straightforward bars, surgical.com, and multi-layered bars. He let the fans figure it out, allowed the rumors to circulate around the community. Some people rejected the idea that Diddy would issue threats or provide a reward, but others knew better. Los Angeles is unfair. Diddy also likes to hold off on ranting until it's too late. The game's efforts to protect Drake were sincere. Of course, it was a mix of loyalty and strategy. His alignment with Drake also enhanced him. This is how the game works. Alliances are economic partnerships that pass for friendships. But when he arrived, the game did more than just make money. Therefore, he was among the few that kept Drake from becoming engaged in whatever mess Diddy might have started. The industry has evolved since then. Diddy's standing deteriorated. Cassie's charges, controlling behavior, manipulation, which caused everyone to reconsider their position. Suddenly, those ancient stories didn't sound so absurd. The Miami slap, the rumors of the bounty, and the set anxiety. It wasn't simply drama, it was survival. Furthermore, if Jay-Z had known about Diddy's most heinous deeds, the silence would have come seen as somewhat premeditated. Listeners are consequently revisiting earlier songs and examining the lyrics, much like they would a murder scene. Did Watch for the Traitor have a purely commercial goal? Did Jay have a deeper meaning in mind? Did Drake's "here's how they'll come at you" statement serve as a warning or a covert admission? Notwithstanding its grandeur, music occasionally hides the answers people are looking for rather than offering them. After everything, Drake definitely didn't move the same. He built his empire with one eye open, developed beyond a classification. It became a stronghold. He preferred silence over show and coalitions over outbursts. In a world when cosigns have unseen contracts and protection has price tags, it is not just prudent but also imperative to play the long game. What happened in the past isn't the only question at hand. The question is, who knew what and when? And if Jay-Z was actually trying to save Drake or defend himself, either way, one thing is for sure. The lyrics contained more than just lines. These were lifelines wrapped in riddles, right in front of you.